Some U.S. travelers remain stuck in the Middle East as the war in Iran continues. The conflict has disrupted air travel for more than a week, leaving a number of Americans still stranded in the war zone. As the State Department rushes to get people out safely, some citizens are frustrated with the response. MS Now reporter Britt Miller talked with two women who are still waiting to get home.
It's the vacation New Yorkers Yasmin and Dacine never expected.
Our world turned upside down in less than 24 hours.
They've asked us not to use their last names, but say their Dubai getaway quickly turned into a travel nightmare, caught in the crosshairs of the war with Iran.
Can we get out of here? My initial thought was, oh my God, is that what I think it is in the sky?
Realizing they were missiles, they went inside and put these mattresses against the window. That was 9 days ago. The two have been stuck in the UAE, plagued by flight cancellations, delays, and disruptions. Right now, airspace is still closed in countries like Bahrain. Israel and Qatar have reopened with limited flights. The UAE is on that list too. But Yasmin and Dacine say flights are still unpredictable.
We've been trying to keep up with the flights, with the news, trying to find a way out of here, even contacting different embassies.
But they say their attempts to get help from the U.S. government have failed. When they first called the hotline provided by the Department of State,
please do not rely on the U.S. government for assisted departure or evacuation at this time.
Of course. So that was the scariest part, honestly. Yeah. That was a part where you're like, I don't even want to call back this number or stay on the line, because basically the way we saw that was, you're on your own. Sorry.
On their own, but not alone. Other stranded travelers posting similar stories on social media.
Day 6, stuck in Dubai during World War III. A lot of you are saying,
oh, you should go get a free flight home. They're helping U.S. citizens.
Lies. They're not helping.
And when President Trump was asked last week why there wasn't an evacuation plan.
Well, because it happened all very quickly.
But when the women finally reached a real person, they say they weren't much help.
We had an email sent to us asking us if we wanted to get on a random flight assisted to Turkey. And then after we get there, it is up to us to fend for ourselves and get our own flight back home.
But as of Monday, the Department of State says 36,000 Americans have returned to the U.S. from the Middle East since February 28th, with thousands being evacuated on 24 charter flights. It's unclear how many Americans are still stranded, but the department says the number of seats available on charter flights is greater than the demand, adding many Americans are choosing commercial flights.
I think it's all just for show. I think ultimately this moment really highlights a broader conversation about what governments owe their citizens abroad during periods of international tension.
Until then, they'll watch for warnings.
We're currently getting an alert right now. Wow. Due to potential missile threats, immediately seek a safe place in the closest secure building.
Praying for a way back home. The women have been in the UAE for almost a month now. They tell me they feel safe and are thankful their Airbnb host is letting them stay for free. But for some travelers who've made it back here to the U.S., it's been quite the journey, with stories of one woman hiring a driver to cross borders and another starting a GoFundMe just for support. Back to you.
That was MS Now reporter Britt Miller. Finally this hour, Australia has granted asylum to 5 members of the Iranian women's national soccer team. Players say they fear persecution back in Iran after they refused to sing their national anthem before their first match in the Asia Cup last week. Overnight, the Australian Federal Police moved the players to a safe location. For several days, Iranian groups in Australia called on the country's leaders to help the players. Yesterday, President Trump got involved, telling Australia's prime minister in a social media post that if his country wouldn't give them asylum, the United States would. Earlier today, a bus believed to be carrying the rest of the team was briefly blocked by protesters as it was leaving the team hotel. Australia's Prime Minister Albanese says the entire team was offered asylum, but it's not yet clear if any of the